Let me bring this up. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, so I choose Paulette Woods. This is her at one of the board meetings responding to someone's concern about the schools. And Rich responding to Nick, who said, "Hey, Buffalo Schools, if you have a representative that would like to come on unsubscribe subscribe cast and share your side of the story, I'd love to have them." And then this is who Angry Cups picks. So, okay, I want to see this.
His best self project.
It's 1 minute long. Okay. So this is the person in question here. So let's keep an eye on this woman down here. Okay. Actually, let me up your volume a little bit.
His best self project. I spoke at a community meeting. I spoke once again at.
That was all this that we discussed could have been discussed when the resolution is on the table. That was my assumption. And even red was where I realized that there's some things going on. The reason I did not communicate with you since we're
I always welcome additional conversation.
We already settled we were going to have it on Tuesday. There was no reason to bring it up again in another conversation.
We have a board member that's giving people the middle finger on a screen.
Sorry? What?
There was a board member that was just swearing and giving the middle finger to everybody on the screen.
I always welcome additional conversation.
We already settled we were going to have it on Tuesday. There was no reason to bring it up again in another conversation.
We have a board member that's giving people the middle finger on a screen.
Sorry? What?
There was a board member that was just swearing and giving the middle finger to everybody on the screen.
Wow.
This meeting. Can we please call this meeting?
Wow. And she deliberately muted her mic too. When she did this, she deliberately muted her mic because you can see after she does this tirade, she's a board member.
We have a board
You
member
can see she looked down at her after she did her screaming and flipping off the camera. You could see her look down at her keyboard probably to unmute her microphone. No, this was not during the oh yeah, it was during the lockdown. Sorry, yeah, it was during 2020. Yeah. This is a board member. Okay, is she still there? That's the question. Is she actually still on the board? I would love to know. Well, no, Banshee, why would she turn off? She's in the middle of a board meeting. She's a board member. Miss Paulette Woods here. I'm curious. Hang on. Whoops. All right, hang on. Let me do a quick search here. Let's see. Is she still there? Chat? She's still there. She is the chair of Finance and Operations Committee. She is a Central District Board member who thinks it's totally fine during a board meeting.
First she drinking on her webcam, then curses everyone off. What kind of crap is this, man?
Yeah. She literally was drinking wine and then just explodes and says, "Fuck you," to this person, Jen McCosey. I have no idea who Jen McCosey is. I don't know if this is a parent or if this is an official or if this is a teacher. No. He was Nick said, "Hey, Buffalo Schools, if you have a representative that you would like to come on unsub and share your side of the story, I'd love to have them on." And Rich responded with, "I choose Paulette Woods. This is her at one of the board meetings responding to someone's concern about schools," which we just saw. He was being sarcastic. He was 100% being sarcastic because she obviously doesn't give a fuck. Wow, that's fucking bad. And actually, I want to actually hear what the people are talking about because I was so focused on her. I want to hear what the people are talking about and what concerns they're expressing are.
Was all this that we discussed could have been discussed when the resolution is on the table. That was my assumption. And even red was where I realized that there's some things going on. The reason I did not communicate with you since we're
I always welcome additional conversation.
We already settled we were going to have no reason to bring it up again in another conversation.
We have a board member that's giving people.
Okay, so something in regards to a resolution. I don't know what, yeah. Well, they didn't skip through it. We came into it a bit late. It was in reference to some kind of resolution that this person was taking issue with, and I guess they didn't like the verbiage in it. Yeah, I can put on closed captions. Absolutely. There we go.
Project. I spoke at a community meeting. I spoke once again at...
That was all this that we discussed could have been discussed when the resolution is on the table. That was my assumption. And even red was where I realized that there's some things going on. The reason I did not communicate with you since we're
I always welcome additional conversation.
We already settled we were going to have no reason to bring it up again in another conversation.
We have a board member that's giving people the middle finger on a screen.
Sorry?
So I'm guessing, let's see, hang on. So Terrence is not a board member, at least currently. Let's see. Sharon Belton is here. She's the Ferry District. I'm trying to see who is a board member and who is not. Kathy Evans Brown. Okay, she's the president. So Dr. Kathy Evans Brown ignored the fact that Paulette Woods just started screaming.
Ember,
and
can we do the
flipping
mass
off.
facepalm meme? Cheer 100.
Go for it. Go for it, JRC. Absolutely. So the president, fellow board members, Jen Nicosi, is she? Okay, she's a board. So she was basically yelling at another board member. So that was another board member she was screaming at. Terrence, let's see, Terrence Hurd. Nope, he's not on the board. Ann Rivera. Okay, Ann Rivera is not on the board currently, I should say, currently. Larry Scott. Okay, he's the VP of Student Achievement. So he's the board VP of Student Achievement. Okay. So yeah, it's she was basically screaming and giving the finger to another board member during a meeting and drinking. This is the Buffalo School Board.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Fuck, suspicious.
I don't know if this is a matter of suspicious, Leo. This is more like, are you fucking kidding me right now? It was, yeah. Well, Kevin, that's why I pulled this up. This is the current members. So, the president, this woman, is still present. She is still the president. Paulette Woods, who did the flipping off and swearing, is still chair of finance operations. Chair of finance and operations. She's still there. She's in charge. She's in charge of the money. This woman that had a fucking freak out while drinking during a board meeting is still in charge of the money. Right now, this is current. This board listing is current. So the president was fine with it. Was fine with the person holding money drinking and going fucking crazy on a Zoom call. Another board member. Like, holy shit. And leave us not forget, they're trying to smear Witch. These are the kind of people that try to smear Witch by saying he's a controversial police officer because people got a little butthurt because he called a robbery suspect fat boy. Don't forget that. The biggest complaint against him is basically name calling. That is the biggest complaint for Rich. Where you have a literal public school board member, the very people trying to smear him with the news and trying to cover up illegal activity.
I've always been an advocate of limiting members of school boards to people who actually have their own children in the school system it oversees. And only during that time.
Well, I can't say yay or nay on terms of whether or not that's a good idea, Andrea, honestly. I don't know. It's not... Regardless, you need to have people on the board that actually care about fucking kids. And honestly, just because you have a child does not necessarily mean you care about kids. So, crazy as it may sound, there are plenty of parents out there that, even though they are parents, they don't like kids. As insane as that may sound. That should be the requirement to be a school board. Is to just, you want to help kids, and that's it. That is your ambition. Oh, was she president back then? I don't know. I do not know. I could not say if she was the president back then or not. She's the president now. And the other woman is still currently a member of the board and is the one holding the purse strings. So, how much of that is she spending on wine and getting drunk, I wonder? Kind of makes you wonder if there may be an investigation coming up pretty soon into the activities of the school board. Kind of makes you wonder if they did a forensic audit of the school board, what would they come up with? Ha-ha! Well, okay, Wormos, there's no indicators of fraud. But if you had a forensic accountant go through the books with a fine-tooth comb, I wonder what they would find.